I heard it's migrants hiding in ATL airports. Boston is all of a sudden becoming Denver and Chicago. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that. You know who this is? Do y'all know who this person is right here that I got on my screen? This young Asian woman. This is a mayor. One of the mayors that's flying under the radar. Did you know that Boston had a female governor and a female mayor? A white woman who is a part of the alphabet community allegedly as the governor, and an Asian woman that they are largely trying to call and get up out of there is overseeing Boston. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Boston was basically a woman-ran state? Yeah. Remember when I was telling y'all that I was going to make my way across the United States of America to try to figure out what was going on? That's what we doing. We making our way all across. Listen, this is a different type of morning show. This ain't Good Morning America, right? This ain't MSNBC, CNN. This is the People Show. It's called the Millionaire Morning Show, but in parentheses, I put the People Show on this joint. You know what I'm saying? If I had an opportunity to be able to put all of that inside of the caption, I would. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. It's the best group. Make sure y'all tap into the Discord that's attached to any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. We got Stock Club coming up this weekend. I'm coming to y'all city. We're going to be doing our thing. We in the gym. We doing the work. We going to be running it up. Make sure y'all hit a like. Let's run it up, y'all. Let's go. Boston, you up.
Tonight, we're getting a closer look at the impact a new temporary migrant shelter is having on the Roxbury community.
The shelter is set up in a rec center, and community members have been telling WBZ that they had no warning and they had no say in it. WBZ's Beth Germano is live for us in Roxbury tonight. Beth, we keep being told that the shelter will be temporary, but that doesn't help the people who are affected right now.
Well, many in the community are actually concerned the shelter will go beyond the May 31st deadline indicated by the governor. And those who use the programs here say they're still waiting to hear about new locations they have been promised. There's both empathy and frustration, and one local business owner understands both.
These are suddenly busy days for Roxbury restaurant owner Norvia Pena. In at 5 a.m. to start preparing over 200 meals in 3 shifts for migrants who arrived at the Melnia Cass recreational complex across the street, with sympathy for their situation.
They don't know what's going to happen to them, so I feel for them. I feel the same way 40 years ago.
That's when she arrived from the Dominican Republic at 10 years old and has been running Fort Hill Bar and Grill for almost 20 years. Now she's a local business owner hired by the state to provide meals at the shelter, calling it a lifeline after the pandemic nearly shut her down.
Let's rewind this, y'all. Because what do we say over here at the Millionaire Morning Show is at the end of the day, it ultimately all comes back down to what? The moolah, baby. You think that this woman is doing this because she got a heart? Y'all think that this woman doing it because she got a heart? Y'all didn't hear what the whole thing said. Listen.
At the shelter, calling it a lifeline. Business owner hired by the state to provide meals at the shelter, calling it a lifeline after the pandemic nearly shut her down.
She's not participating in capitalism. She's participating in the Victim Olympics. She's doing this because they're paying her in order to continue to participate at the shelter. So when you see these feel-good stories, oh, I'm the people's champ. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart. Listen, they was broke, dusty, disgusted. The pandemic had practically wiped them out. They had no other way to continue to do what they do, and they seen a lifeline. And so they then are saying, well, listen, I just want to help the people. But here's the thing. Boston is participating and continuing to fund this thing, and they're trying to spin it like they're doing something because they're passionate about it, when in reality, they're a part of the same agenda that every other sanctuary city is a part of. They have them sleeping in y'all airports, but somebody discovered them. They now are feeding them. They brought them into the Roxbury neighborhood. although none of the residents actually agreed to this. And so now what happens? Well, what happens is you get bullied. Whoever it is that's living in Boston, whoever's in the Roxbury neighborhood, you guys get bullied while the news do these puff pieces. They're trying to spin this like this is a passion project, when in reality, we know that it's something else different going on. But we're going to speak to that in a minute. Don't worry about it. Oh, no. That's tomorrow's show. Jay, that's tomorrow's show, big dog. I promise you I'm getting to that. Jay got it the hard way. I got that on the docket for tomorrow. It's already earmarked. It's already set up. We're going to address that tomorrow. Don't get ahead of yourself. We got to do this one day at a time, my friend.
Today it is only 150.
All coming together in a matter of days.
Having my meetings, working on my meal plan, calling the people the vendors that I'm going to be working with.
But the shelter is a source of controversy in the community, since these beds have displaced many programs. Some activists seeking a meeting with Mayor Wu and Governor Healy.
We understand, what they're going through, but the bottom line is that we're tired of being dictated to as it pertains to what happens in our community.
Brandon Ransom, whose 2 sons run track at the center, says the community was blindsided and a new location has not been identified for them.
They have to worry about not necessarily having a warm environment to be in and training for the sport that they love, especially when it's supposed to be indoor track season.
Norvia Pena understands the frustration, but says her deliveries are providing comfort to others who have also been displaced.
They were laughing. They were sitting at a table eating. So yesterday you could see the change on their faces.
And right now there are 141 migrants being housed here in a facility that can hold up to 400 individuals. And we're told 50 more are expected at some point tonight.
And more are coming. And more are coming. More are coming, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if y'all see what's happening here. I know that y'all trying to ignore it. I know that we all want to vote based off of how your parents told you to vote. I know that y'all don't want to get active. I know ain't nobody calling. You're not going to be calling. You're not going to be complaining until it's too late, until they overrun your communities. They're taking over your communities, your community centers. They living wherever it is that you live. They going to school with your children. I know y'all don't want to have this conversation, but I'm telling you, it's better to address it now than to address it later. Now, that was Boston. Over in ATL, something a little different happened. And they've been a sanctuary city. They were one of the ones that signed the same document along with Denver and Chicago and New York and LA. Atlanta was out there.
So after the video this week showing migrants sleeping in the Boston's Logan Airport, one Georgia state senator captures new video showing migrants inside a hidden room at the Atlanta airport. Watch.
Yeah.
Transporting anybody anywhere?
Yeah, we're all getting them placed to where they need to be. Yeah, so these are just recently documented travelers getting released from ICE, getting to where they need to be.
Well, just let me get a video if you don't mind.
Actually, you cannot get a video.
No.
You cannot get a video.
No, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed. You're done.
Did you hear that? Documented travelers. Joining us right now, Georgia State Senator Colton Moore. So I'm confused because I'm going to read this statement later on in the segment. But the person that you were speaking to said that they were documented, and we know that they were illegal, right?
Yeah, we got a whistleblower who gave us a tip about this hidden room, and I had a full team there with some different cameras in different places. Said on Monday and Tuesday nights, there's just an influx of these people who come through the airport, kind of when the traffic is much lower at the airport. They were in a hidden room. I was talking to an Atlanta Police Department investigator yesterday. There are absolutely no cameras in this area of the airport. If you watch another part of the video, you'll see that there's some barricades and some caution tape before you get there. It kind of looks like a construction zone, if you will.
So
let's hold on, y'all. Take a deep breath to everybody that's watching this, to the over 2,300 people that's watching this and growing. Take a breath, y'all. Breathe. Breathe. 1 into the 2, 2 into the 3, 3 into the 4, 4. Everybody. everybody. If y'all know that Fabulous song, come on, sing it with me. Listen, you in your kitchen over there, I see you. You over there that's in a truck, you in a truck driving. Shout out to everybody that's in the church. Don't worry about it. There ain't no cuss words in the hook. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of my people. All of us that grew up off of that Fab song. Everybody, everybody, breathe. One into the two, three into the four. Everybody, everybody, take a breath. Hold on. Listen. I want y'all to breathe. Take a breath. Okay? Let's take it all in. Let's take it into consideration. And let's understand what we're dealing with here. Okay, guys? All right? What we have here is the utmost of disrespect from your legislators, your politicians, every legislative branch on every level. There are people literally. Now, see, it's one thing to do it to where we all can see it and we can complain about it. But here's the question that we got to ask ourselves. How long has this been going on? How long has this? Why isn't Atlanta at the forefront of the congregation, but we only talking about Denver, New York? Well, Atlanta got a private part of the airport with no cameras that they basically lying to you in. And the only reason that we even having this conversation right now is because somebody got a tip from somebody else that was participating and said, this ain't right. It was a whistleblower. Otherwise, they will be continuing to get these people flights to wherever they're getting the flights from. And I'm telling you, bro, everything. If the people are not absolutely, and I'm talking about across the United States of America, not just the people in Atlanta, not just the people in Boston, if the people are not absolutely like terrified and then at the same time bothered by this, I don't know how y'all are sleeping at night comfortably knowing that this is just happening right around the block from you. How long is this going to happen? Secret rooms, flights, undocumented, no cameras. Your money's being used to fund this. America is going boop in the toilet. Budget deficits, boop, out of control. What is it that we haven't seen? That's the thing. Because, see, this is just the stuff that we just discovered. So, usually when you discover something, it's only the tip of the iceberg, right? If you see one counterfeit dollar that start to flow into a specific community or into a store, how much counterfeit money is out there, really? You know what I'm saying? If this is only a smidget of it, how much is really happening out here in these streets? And would you be surprised if something really happened that really displaces you, considering all of this information that I've been providing for you after all of this time?
Explain to me, because, airport's supposed to be one of the most secure locations. There's cameras everywhere. Is this inside of the terminals or outside of the terminals?
This is, I believe it's technically the third floor, but it appears as if it's the second floor in the domestic terminal. Our whistleblower says they walk right out of the gates and then they're escorted into this room. Those people in that room, though, they were waiting to be booked to flights all across the United States. We were also getting video of migrants who were just walking out onto the streets of Atlanta.
And who's guarding the door?
So there was a U.S. Army soldier there at the door, the guy who says, "You're done." He is a United States soldier. We still not sure exactly what his role was there, but he was sitting right next to the door and basically assaulted me in order to take the phone and try, to get rid of the footage.
A U.S. soldier, a United States, your tax dollar funded soldier, trillions upon trillions of dollars.
I was able to recover the phone, and that's the footage you see there.
This is crazy. What's going on here?
I don't know. You know, there's a lot of questions to be answered. I hope the Georgia Senate will flex its subpoena authority and start bringing some folks from the airport in and getting answers to these questions.
Have you yet been able to get in contact with Governor Kemp about this? I can just imagine that he's not too happy about what's going on. I think this is the largest airport in the nation.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It's the busiest airport in the world.
That's where Delta's main hub is. Delta's main hub is in Atlanta. Most of the time that y'all got to take a layover, you got to take it in Atlanta. I tried to fly into Jacksonville, Florida in order to go and do an interview. Couldn't even get directly there. Had to go and take a layover in Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. I had to do a crossover.
The Governor Kemp and I are at a lot of odds on this issue with the Fonnie Willis issue in Georgia. We haven't spoken. I know people in my district have sent him text messages. He's kind of passed the buck and said this is a federal issue. I certainly wish we were sending state resources down to the southwest border like Governor Ron DeSantis is.
What do you want to see done right now when it comes to this airport?
I want to see these people not be able to leave the airport. You know, the city of Atlanta controls the Atlanta airport. They ought to be housing these people here until we can figure out things going forward.
And this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, right under your nose, right behind your back. And then have y'all ever wondered, like, hey, how did this person just end up on my street? How did these people just end up in my city asking me for money? Hey, where did y'all come from? And why y'all don't speak no English? How did y'all travel up through the country? You had to go through Tennessee. You had to go through Texas. You came up through Florida. You came in through Arizona. How did you end up in Atlanta? How did you end up in the Boston airport? How did you end up over here? What happened? Have you ever asked anybody their origin story of how they ended up where they ended up in the first place? No origin stories. That's only for the movies. That's only for Marvel characters. For when they starting off a new franchise. I get it. Listen, I promise you I'm on it, though. Look, I was so bothered over the weekend. You know why I was bothered on Sunday and Saturday night? Because I did after hours on Saturday night, but we do a whole different type of content. But I was so bothered over the weekend because I was just getting an influx. That's why I was telling y'all that, listen, I got to space this out throughout the week because I can't cover it all in one thing. I almost did a special show over the weekend. And Asa says, Anton, what can we do about this? Tell us what action we can take to take our country back. Well, the first thing that y'all got to do is y'all got to stop voting the way that y'all vote. That's number one. Number two, y'all need to call y'all legislators and start putting pressure on them. They work for you. See, we so stuck on sitting here and playing games that we don't know who any of our leaders are that we elected, right? And so what happens is we allow for these people to go under the radar because we don't hold them accountable and we don't even know what they're doing. I would bet you $100 per person that most people that are watching this show right now, all 2,300 plus people that is watching this show right now, don't even know what their legislators do on a daily basis. They don't even know what their job is. But guess what? They work for you. The police department work for you. Your legislated elected leaders work for you. All of these people that's in these social services, they work for you. These are the people that you are their boss. And so if you're not getting informed, if you're not participating, if you're not going to the meetings, what makes you think that they can't do whatever it is that they want to do when they want to do it? Because you're uninformed. The first thing that we got to do is we got to inform ourselves. The second thing that y'all got to do is y'all got to start making these phone calls. Y'all got to start showing up at these meetings. Otherwise, they're going to show up in your neighborhoods. Because what we'll do is we won't participate and then we'll leave and we'll go somewhere else until the problems start following us. If y'all not aware of what's happening within y'all communities, don't you know that the majority of the resources is directed through the police department that then distributes it over to the church to then determine what happens within your community, especially when it comes to the charities? Why do you think that it's so easy for these elected officials to go into the church to do whatever it is that they want to do? Because they're all tied in with each other financially, especially through business, through your tax dollars. You don't even know that these people voting themselves raises and promotions while laying you off at the same time.